come up and offer incense before the service starts, you're welcome to. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see all of you here this morning for our Eitaikyo service. Our Eitaikyo service is our perpetual chanting of the sutras memorial service that remembers all those who have been part of our temple and also loved ones that you have, and in showing your gratitude in respects for their lives that they set for us. And also, we will be having our All Life Forms Memorial, which also is part of the Eitaikyo service today. Today, we are very privileged to have Reverend Elaine Donlin from the Buddhist Church of San Francisco, who will share the Dharma messages to both the Dharma school and to the adults. And also officiating today's service is Reverend Smitty, and co-officiant is Reverend Laverne. And also joining them in the Onaijin today is MA, certified MA, Arturo Rubio. We will now have fruit and floral offering and the All Life Forms presentation by the pre-K through third grade class. Thank you very much. Pre-K through third graders did a good job. Okay, at this time, Reverend Smitty will lead us in the chanting of the Sambujo, which can be found on page 21, and that'll be followed by the Hyo Byakumon, or the intention of the service, and then the chanting of the Jusege on page 35.
Bujo Mida Nyorai Niudo Jo San Ge Bujo Shaka Nyo san, ge, ra, Please join me in Gasho. We gather here today to observe Eitaikyo. Eitaikyo literally means perpetually chanting Buddhist sutras. E means eternal. It is composed of the characters for a river with many tributaries that flow on and on. Tai means generations. Kyo means the sutras or the words of the Buddha. Thus, the meaning of Eitaikyo is to eternally chant the sutras on behalf of and in gratitude for our loved ones for generations and generations to come. Eitaikyo can be interpreted as the Buddhist Temple of San Diego's promise to propagate the Buddha Dharma in perpetuity. Through this Eitaikyo, this river with many tributaries, flows all the sentient beings who have brought the Dharma to us in the past. All the sentient beings who are here sharing the Dharma in the present, and all the sentient beings who will hear the Dharma at the Buddhist Temple of San Diego on and on into the future. Namo Amida Butsu, Namandab, 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 Namandab. Yagon chosegan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok sefujo shogak gao muryoko huidai seshu Husai shobingu sehujo shogak gashi jobundo myosho chojipo kukyo mishomon sehujo shogak Ryokujin shonen joe shubongyo shigumu jodo isho tenin shi jinriki endaiko fusho musaido Shoujo san kumyo kosai shuyakunan kai hichi egen meshi kon mo an heisoku sho akudo tudaten zen shumon Koso jo manzok ioro jipo nichigan shujuki tenko onpugen ishukai hozo 公正功徳法上大集中説法四式供養一切仏具足修徳本願永心上満徳意三界王女文無下知津断未不詳感覚エリ都市最小尊志願役国家大戦の感動国書天人とうちん妙慶ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブガニシクドク平等性祭道本菩提心往生安楽合唱ナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダーナマンダー
Okay, thank you. Will everyone please rise for the recitation of the Golden Chain, and that can be found on page 90 of the service book. Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Gasho, Namo Amidaps, Namo Amidaps, Namo Amidaps, Namo Amidaps, Namo Amidaps, Namo Amidaps. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, Reverend Smitty will acknowledge all the all life forms. For I think everybody put their pets' names in the box. She will read those names at this time.
Okay, we had the the box containing the names that were submitted and sometimes pictures and stories brought up to the Onaijin already with the fruit and floral offering. So today, we'd like to acknowledge that impermanence of all beings and the influence of all lives on our own lives. We're not separate, we're not isolated, we are instead fully connected with all things. And it's through this understanding of impermanence and interdependence that we recognize how truly special each and every life really is. So today, during our Eitaikyo service, we're gathered here as a Sangha, acknowledging all beings who have touched our lives and often have touched our hearts. I would like to read the names and/or the descriptions of beings that have been submitted for this all life form memorial. Brazilian soccer legend Pelé. Birds, bees, spiders, and all the critters that make our morning walk so wonderful. My pet fish. My old orange tree. Steelers Hall of Fame running back Franco Harris. Thank you. My stick with one leaf. Lolo Ben, my mom's dad, who passed away before I was born. George Washington, my fish. Mountain lion P22, also known as the Hollywood cat. My pop-pop, my pet dog, flowers in my yard, my father, Reverend Laverne Sasaki. Monty, he was a good dog. My hamster, Jimmy Buffett. My nephew, Christopher Smith. My biological grandmother and father, the Takano family. The spiders. All the people, animals, trees, and plants that died in Maui wildfires. The dinosaurs. My fish. My dogs Zorro, Sashi, and Jack. We acknowledge these beings who have left the Saha world and have crossed over to the other shore. And we also acknowledge the lives of the countless and often unnamed others who have touched, enriched, or sustained our lives, whether they were humans, mammals, fish, birds, reptiles, amphibians, insects, microbes, fungus, trees, plants, flowers, or even weeds. May we always be mindful of how precious life is, how interconnected and impermanent life is, and how much we depend on these other living beings in order to live our own lives. In deep and heartfelt gratitude, please join me in Gasho as we say, Namandab, 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 Namandab.
Thank you, Smitty Sensei, for reading the names, and to all of you for sharing the names of your beloved pets and friends, and for sharing them today with us. At this time, we will be having incense offering by the representatives, beginning with the Dharma School students, Penelope Schmidt. The Dharma School staff, Norman Kiono. Sangha Teens, Juliana Cruz. Junior YBA, Andrea Covarrubias. The Adult Buddhist Association, Greg Yonakura. The Buddhist Women's Association, Aki Tomiyama. Taiko Group, Jaden Cruz. Komon, Temple's past presidents, Joyce Teague. And Buddhist Temple, Luann Lee. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Reverend Smitty, who will introduce our speaker for today, Reverend Donlin.
Hi, everybody. Again, today we are so fortunate to have with us Reverend Elaine Donlin from the Buddhist Church of San Francisco. And Reverend Donlin had received her minister assistant robes from the Buddhist Church of San Francisco in 2008 and received her tokudo from Nishihanganji in Kyoto in 2012. And she leads a rather innovative monthly meta-gathering in Jado Shinshu temples in San Francisco, Mill Valley, and Sebastopol for the last 10 years. And Reverend Donlin is also a founding member of the BCSF LGBTQ plus group, the first such temple group within Buddhist Churches of America. Additionally, she presently serves as the president of BCSF Buddhist Women's Association. Reverend Donlin is very passionate about interfaith collaboration and served on the San Francisco Interfaith Council Board of Directors for the past 6 years and continues to coordinate the BCSF's SFIC, the Interfaith Council's Winter Shelter Meal Program for those who are unhoused. In October of 21, she was invited to present at the Interfaith Coalition for Global Citizens in Seoul, South Korea, and she spoke on the importance of interfaith collaboration in promoting the United Nations Global Citizen Education Initiative as essential to overcoming the complex global crisis we presently find ourselves in. In January 2023, Elaine Sensei was elected president of the Japanese American Religious Federation, which is a consortium of churches and temples in the San Francisco, Japantown area, working together to promote peace and unity since 1948. And also for 10 years now, Reverend Donlin has provided meditation and Buddhist teachings in the San Francisco County men's and women's jails. So it's really a pleasure to have someone here who holds the Dharma so true to her heart and loves to share it with others, whether they're Buddhists or not, that they can hear the Dharma as well. So this is our opportunity on this Eitaikyo morning to get to hear Reverend Donlin speak to us.
Good morning. So our Dharma schools all in this area, right? So nice to be with you here. I'm Reverend Elaine from San Francisco, the Buddhist Church of San Francisco, and I'm grateful to spend a little bit of time with you this morning. So you all know what an iceberg looks like, right? Let me put this up. So maybe some of you have seen these in real life. My sister lived in Alaska for 4 years, and I got to go up and visit her, and we saw a bunch of these. They were pretty cool. It's said that an iceberg floats on the ocean with only 10% of it showing above the surface. The major portion of it, 90%, the majority of it, is submerged under the ocean waters. So the bulk of the iceberg's body lies underwater. So in order for just a small portion, just that top portion, to be above the water level, a major portion has to be supporting it underwater. And I think our lives are a lot like this. The most obvious causes for us being here, for my existence, right, for me to be here today, is the birth that I received from my parents. Right, their love, their support. Also the love and support of my friends, my Dharma community, my Dharma teachers. All of them are like the tip of the iceberg. All the things that I see and know that are very obvious to me. But there are less obvious, unseen causes and conditions for our existence that contributes to why and how I'm here. Those are like the hidden parts of the iceberg that we don't easily see. And because we can't see the part with our eyes that's immersed underwater, we're often not aware of it. And we often take it for granted. So I think it's really important to, also meaningful, to realize that the major portion of our existence is because of the indirect and unseen compassion that we have received and continue to receive. Who planted and harvested the food that shows up on our table every day? Who cuts and sews the clothes and makes the shoes that we wear every day? Who harvested the trees and milled them and built the house that we live in, the home that we live in? Who made the materials for the computers that we use for school and for work and for entertainment? Who digs the wells and extracts the oil and carries it miles and miles through pipelines so it arrives at our gas stations so we can go where we need to go? Or if you have an electric car, who mines and harvests the cobalt, the lithium, the copper, the aluminum needed to make these electric vehicles so that we can drive around to all the places that we need to? And who made the parts and built the car that drove us here today? Right? All of these things are like the underwater part of the iceberg, but they definitely contribute to why we are here today. And if the Buddhist temple of San Diego is the visible part, the top part of the iceberg, which is what we see and experience, especially right now, what's underneath it? What's underneath, submerged in the water, yet keeping this temple afloat? Who built this temple that I'm privileged to be in today? Who brought the Shin tradition to America that was the cause of this temple being built? And in Japan, who passed on the Nembutsu teaching as taught by our founder Shinran, so that we could one day meet the Nembutsu? And who taught Shinran the path of Namo Amida Butsu? The answers to all these questions are part of the iceberg that's under the water, out of our view. But it doesn't mean that we ignore it just because we can't easily see it or know the answers to those questions, or we haven't been directly or personally in contact with it. It means we need to work a little harder because we need to see what's actually there and acknowledge and be thankful for it. So that's what we're doing today. We're honoring our Buddhist Temple of San Diego members, some present, most who have passed on before us, but every single one of them who have made a point of contributing to this temple's Eitaikyo fund, which ensures that our Nembutsu teaching that stretches all the way back to Shinran continues on and on. For you and for me, for our children, for our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, for generation to generation, for all time. What a noble and loving aspiration that is. It is this kindness and support that makes the Buddhist Temple of San Diego what it is today. And that inspires me. All the amazing Dharma guides that we are honoring and thanking today make up a part of that massive, unseen part of the iceberg, holding up and supporting this temple. And all they want for us is to know Namo Amida Butsu, to know and experience boundless compassion and love, and to be able to gather and learn and share and chant, and for the Dharma to continue and flourish. And if we and this temple are like the iceberg, then perhaps the ocean could be understood as Amida, which is constantly supporting that iceberg, regardless of whether it's a big iceberg or a small iceberg, a newly formed iceberg, or a very old ancient iceberg. The ocean's energy is unconditionally supporting and sustaining that iceberg. So I think the best way that we can show our gratitude to all our Dharma friends who've worked hard to keep this temple going and flourishing is by saying the Nembutsu. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. 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 Have a good session in Dharma School today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Donlin, with your Dharma talk for the Dharma School's children, and using the iceberg as a description of our, for us to remember our loved ones and all those who meant so much to our Buddhist temple. Will everyone please rise for the Gatha Namo Amida Butsu on page 122 and remain standing for the recitation of our pledge. Our pledge is the insert that is found in the book, service book. Our pledge is written by Argomonshu Otani Kojun. Breaking out of my shell, I shall share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Gasho, Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, we have announcements. There's some listed on the back of the program, but if anyone has an announcement to share, please come forward.
Just an addendum to the first announcement there about Mochitsuki. Both White Elephant Shop and Obon again will be having a holiday sale in the Sangha Hall. It was a little too crowded at room 5, so I won't be there, and Joyce has agreed to put out some nice Asian wear goodies for holiday gifting.
Good morning. All right, so, oh my gosh. As you may know, our Junior YVA is having our annual Thanksgiving food drive right now, and it will continue on all the way to next week. So if you have any non-perishable goods, like, I don't know, like canned peaches, or maybe like, I don't know, box stuffing or something like that, please feel free to bring it and leave it down in a box down below. There should be one as you walk up the stairs, like that way, and there should be one in the dining hall. So there's that. And if you can't bring any food, we also accept monetary donations in the Junior YVA mailbox in the office. My second announcement is that the Junior YVA is having a luncheon fundraiser on December 3rd, which is Bodhi Day. So join us for delicious Mexican hot dogs, elote, and aguas frescas, all for a donation of $10. Additionally, we will be selling Mexican Coca-Cola, which is arguably a lot better than the American one. So we'll see you at 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. in the annex. And if you're looking for any tickets beforehand, please see any Junior YBA member. What did I say? Whatever I said, it's 11:30 to 1. So sorry about that, and thank you for your support.
Thank you for your announcements. And at this time, I'd like to call upon our temple president, Luann Lee, for her words of appreciation.
Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you here to observe our Eitaikyo service and all life forms memorial service. On behalf of BTSD, I would like to thank guest speaker Reverend Elaine Donlin for making time to come to San Diego to share her Dharma message, her Dharma school message, very meaningful, and showing the past, how we should be grateful for our past family and friends. Thank you to Reverend Hokai Smith for officiating today's service, and to Reverend Laverne Imori for co-officiating. Also, I missed part of this that I'm looking forward. We're looking forward to the Eitaikyo message in a few minutes for the adult service. Also, appreciation to all the minister assistants that helped out with the service today, to chairperson Ralph Honda, and Ong for providing the music, Sharon Sasaki for ringing the concho, and to our technical team for providing the ability to live stream the service. And basically, you, the Sangha, for your attendance today and for all your support and generous donations. Without you, the temple, would not be here. We look forward to seeing you at future weekly services and Mochisuki on December 10th. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Luann, and to everyone for making today's service possible. At this time, the Dharma School students are excused to their activity, but please come up for Oshoko. And I believe you have an activity today in room 6. Okay, we will now begin the second portion of the service, and it will be the chanting of the Vandana Tisarana, and that can be found on page 96 of the service book.
And I'd like everybody to chant along with me, whether it says leader or Sangha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Sammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie Gasho namanda, 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 namanda.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call on Reverend Elaine to share her Eitaikyo Dharma message.
Please join me in placing our palms together as we listen to a wasan, a chanted poem by our founder Shinran from the hymns of the Pure Land Masters. To take refuge with the mind that is single in the Buddha of unhindered light filling the 10 quarters is, in the words of Vasubandhu, the mind that aspires to attain Buddhahood. The mind that aspires to attain Buddhahood is the mind to save all sentient beings. The mind to save all sentient beings is true and real Shinjin, which is Amida's benefiting of others. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda. Well, good morning again. Ohayo gozaimasu. I must first offer my deep appreciation to Reverend Gibbs and Reverend Smitty for their kind invitation to be here this morning. And also to Reverend Laverne, and especially to Luann for their thoughtful communications and planning and making me feel so welcome today. I'm so honored to be here with you this morning as we observe the Buddhist Temple of San Diego's Eitaikyo service. This annual service is dedicated to members who have ensured that the temple continues to share and propagate the Dharma. And I think it's also a beautiful memorial that pays tribute to our predecessors who are generously sharing the Dharma with us today. As mentioned earlier, Eitaikyo is a contraction of a longer word that means perpetual, Eitai, chanting, doku, of sutras, kyo. So the perpetual chanting of sutras. And the act of chanting connects us to those who came before us and all those who will follow us as we chant the same sutras. We flow together in time, and in the ritual of chanting, we become one with each other. Chanting sutras was and remains a central practice, a universal characteristic in almost all Buddhist schools. Remember, Buddhism began as an oral tradition, and chanting was a means of remembering the spoken teachings of the historical Buddha. So it served to provide a continuity to the teachings. And later, after sutras were written down, chanting allowed for both reflection on the content of the sutras as well as focused or concentration of the mind. So fast forward 1,600 plus years later, and we're still chanting the sutras. What we just chanted, Vandana Tisarana, is ancient. I think that is so remarkable and wonderful. I was taught that the ritual of sutra chanting is a manifestation of our heart. The ritual of sutra chanting is a manifestation of our heart. And that when we gather together and chant, our hearts are joined as one in praising Amida Buddha and in expressing our appreciation for the precious teaching in this precious life. In our larger Pure Land Sutra, also known as the Sutra on the Buddha of Immeasurable Life, it is written, quote, "You should extensively plant roots of virtue in this world. Be kind and generous. With tolerance, patience, diligence, and wisdom, you should encourage one another in doing noble deeds." Planting roots of virtue is exactly what Eitaikyo is about. It's allowing us to hear the Dharma while recognizing how interdependent our lives are, how intertwined our liberation truly is. From the Mahayana perspective, of which Jodo Shin is a part of, our liberation will be collective or it won't be liberation. Isn't this the Bodhisattva ideal? Right? The primal vow of Amita Buddha. In our Shin tradition, each of us follows the vow. The primal vow where Bodhisattva Dharmakara refuses to become a Buddha unless and until all beings hear the name and can be liberated as well. No matter how attached or how ignorant they or we may be. We plant this vow in the middle of our life and are present to the opportunities that arise. Opportunities of self-reflection, of learning, of connection, all working to flower the Dharma. To be here in this space, in this moment, with all our joys and all of our sorrows. Planting the vow is what Shinran was talking about when he wrote, quote, "My wish is that those who have attained birth may lead those who come after them, and those who aspire for birth may follow their predecessors, thus following one after another endlessly and uninterruptedly until the boundless sea of birth and death is exhausted." End quote. Namanda. So in reflecting on planting the roots of virtue, I think about the Issei immigrants who came here from Japan and were the first to plant the seeds of Shin Dharma in American soil, and their children who built upon their parents' legacy, and their children, and so on. I think about every single name in the Buddhist Temple of San Diego's Eitaikyo registry, who knew the importance of planting and nurturing those seeds of Dharma so that others who came after them could also benefit from the teachings of transcendent wisdom and immeasurable compassion. And on every Eitaikyo observance, regardless of which temple I'm in, I think about how I am the recipient of the seed that was planted long before I set foot in this temple or any other Shin temple. Because I wasn't raised in the Jodo Shin tradition. I was raised Catholic. I attended Catholic church every Sunday with my family from the time I was born. I went to Catholic elementary school, Catholic junior high school, and graduated from Catholic high school. And through my young life, I made the Catholic sacraments of baptism, communion, confession, and in my teens, confirmation. So Buddhism was not at all on my radar. But at 17, I went to my mom and I explained to her that I just couldn't attend Sunday service anymore with the family. And I explained to her the three primary reasons. The first reason was the church's abject condemnation of homosexuality. Being gay, I never had been in the closet because my mom and dad and siblings always created a safe, open, and loving home for me, where I could always be my honest and authentic self. And I am forever grateful for that unconditional love and support. My second reason I explained to my mom was the church's prohibition of birth control, which I found particularly medieval and misogynistic. And it easily explained why the students in my Catholic school had exceptionally large numbers of siblings. Hint, the rhythm method was not all that effective. The third reason for wanting to leave the church was the church's prohibition of female clergy, which I found selective in their teachings and just unnecessarily oppressively patriarchal. So my mom, a lifelong Catholic and a Catholic at birth, for her as well, she really heard me. And she deeply understood and respected my decision. And so she encouraged me to find a spiritual tradition that would support and guide me on the sometimes challenging and unpredictable journey that we call life. Well, that didn't really happen at first. At 17, 18, and 19, I was into punk rock. I was a musician, and I lived for live music. I traveled to England and Europe on savings that I had earned from various jobs, exploring the goth, punk, and avant-garde scenes. I had a blast. Didn't think of Catholicism or anything else spiritual at the time. But it was later in my early 20s, I returned to college. Can't really, being a punk rocker wasn't a life-sustaining job thing that I envisioned for myself. So I went back to school and I took a comparative religion course to satisfy a humanities requirement, it was an interesting choice because I think it spoke of my longing to have some spiritual ground to walk on. And it was in that class that I met with the Buddha's teaching. And for the first time, I felt like I was home. I was spiritually home. Buddhism ticked off all the boxes that were important to me. And mostly, it just made sense. I got involved with the Soto Zen group in college, practiced sitting for 5 years, found it a source of great frustration, and then due to causes and conditions, migrated to Tibetan Buddhism for 15 years. I practiced in the Kagyu lineage, which focuses on visualization meditation. And the specific focus of my meditation, which was given to me by my teacher, was Amitabha, or Amida Buddha, and the 3 Pure Land Sutras. But Tibetan is pedal to the metal. It's very, very intense practice. And my friends were all taking monastic vows, becoming nuns and monks. And I absolutely did not want to. So I began to pull back a bit. And it was during this time of pulling back that I made my way to Jodo Shinshu by way of a funeral. I was working at United Parcel Service in environmental health and safety. I actually retired from UPS after 36 years of employment to move into Shin. But when I was working at UPS, a dear work colleague of mine passed away of cancer. Judy had been working in the safety department, and I never knew she was Buddhist. She never knew I was Buddhist. She was just the kindest, gentlest person I have met. In hindsight, I could tell she had been a long time Nembutsu follower. She would always make cakes for everyone's birthday. She had a great sense of humor. It was never mean. It was just joyful. Her funeral, she was loved by so many people in the San Francisco UPS facility, which there's 400 employees there. The temple, her funeral was held at BCSF, which was her home temple. And it was packed. It was just jam-packed. I remember when I got notice of the funeral, I was thinking, Buddhist church? What the heck is a Buddhist church? Didn't make sense. I'd been in temples my whole since college. I walked in, you didn't take your shoes off, there were pews, there was an organ which freaked me out, the altar was raised up high. I just thought, what is this thing? This is I felt like I was back in Catholic Church. But the Reverend Abiko, Hiroshi, the late great Reverend Hiroshi Abiko, had just been assigned there. And he conducted the funeral. And it was the most remarkable Dharma talk I've heard. It was, I can't even tell you what it was about. It just got to my core. And so Judy's funeral was on a Saturday, and so Sunday, I came back to check out a service and basically never left. Reverend Abiko saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself, a love of Dharma, of ministry. And so he had started the Minister's Assistant Program at BCSF, and I became part of the first wave of that. I am so grateful for his guidance and kindness. And then when he went to Los Angeles after 10 years, Reverend Ron Kobata stepped in as our resident minister, and then he continued to cultivate this love of Dharma and ministry in our MAP folks. And so 12 years ago, I traveled to the Nishi Honganji in Kyoto, Japan, our mother temple, for Tokudo ordination. And I know without a doubt that I wouldn't be here today, standing in the Buddhist temple, Buddhist Church of San Diego, were it not for all those who laid the groundwork and provided ongoing guidance and support of the Shin teachings in each and every temple, to be there exactly when I needed it to be there. So this morning, we are honoring all those on the Eitaikyo registry who, each one in their own unique way, is sharing the Nembutsu teaching with us right now. It's been said that the most enduring bequest that we can leave another is virtue. And that the best bequest we can leave is the example of one's life. What are the seeds we are sowing? How are we living our teachings? The Nembutsu is our Buddhist life manifested verbally, an expression of gratitude for the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha arising all the time in our life. The Nembutsu is right here, this moment, Namanda, Namo Amida Butsu. A spontaneous affirmation of gratitude for the all-encompassing wisdom and compassion, supporting and sustaining us always, which continues to unfold within our profound interdependence and precious impermanence. The Nembutsu allows us to see a bigger picture, a larger perspective, rather than my own often narrow, limited habituations of separation. And this heart-opening perspective happens not through any calculation of mine, but by letting go, through entrusting. In the Kyogyo Shincho, Shinran expresses his single-hearted refuge in the wondrous, compassionate vow that effectively liberates all beings, writing, quote, "My heart and mind stand rooted in the Buddha ground of the universal vow, and my thoughts and feelings flow within the Dharma realm," end quote, Namanda. So we come together today to remember the Eitaikyo honorees who planted the seeds of Dharma, who planted the seeds of Shin Dharma for us with their benevolent aspiration to benefit future generations. They have brought us together today to hear the teachings, to chant the sutras, and to hear and say the name, Namo Amida Butsu. Their kindness reaffirms the working of the compassionate vow, the Bodhisattva vow. Today, we remember and thank those members who've planted the vow to keep the Nembutsu teachings alive. Eitaikyo, the wish to chant our Pure Land Sutras over many, many, many generations. So my Thanksgiving words of appreciation today are extended to the Sangha, past and present. Okage-sama de, thanks to you. Or more appropriately, I am what I am because of you. I think Okage-sama de beautifully expresses the sentiments of Eitaikyo, allowing us to recognize how interdependent our lives truly are, how interconnected we are with the sincere and generous dedication of all who wish to share the Nembutsu teaching here at the temple. So I appreciate the annual Eitaikyo service because it provides an opportunity to notice, to acknowledge, to express gratitude to those whose lives have intersected and influenced us in some invaluable way. I would like to close today's reflection with the beautiful words of Reverend Dr. David Matsumoto, who I think captures the spirit of all those who we remember and honor for this morning's annual Buddhist Temple of San Diego's Eitaikyo service. Please join me in Gassho. Why was I born? I was born for this moment, to be with you and care for you. I was born to appreciate that all that is important in life comes from outside of myself, in spite of myself. I was born to realize that out of the depth of despair arises inconceivable happiness and joy. When we think about life in this way, we come to understand that the entirety of life is to give thanks. It is to give away what we have received, to teach what we have learned, and to share what we have created with everyone. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, 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 namanda. Namanda. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you this morning. It's an honor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Donlin, for sharing your Dharma message today with the importance of our Eitaikyo and what it means for our temple, and for sharing your very amazing lifelong spiritual path to be with us here today. Will everyone please rise for the singing of the Gatha Ondok-san? And that can be found on page 128 of the service book. And then please remain standing for a closing meditation. May the wisdom of the all-compassionate one so shine in our hearts and minds that the mists of error and the foolish vanity of self be dispelled. So shall we understand the changing nature of existence and reach spiritual peace. Gasho, Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Thank you. You may be seated. Well, this concludes our Eitaikyo service for 2023. I'd like to thank all of you for attending, and thank everyone for your participation, and especially to Reverend Donlin for taking time from her busy schedule to share the Dharma with us this morning. Everyone, after the service, everyone is welcome to go downstairs to the dining room for hospitality, and as you leave, please, you're welcome to Oshoko burn incense before leaving the Hondo. It's a wonderful day today, so please enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for attending today's service. If you ordered your brittle from the BWA, you can pick it up today downstairs. I think they're all set up right outside the children's nursery. And I believe they have some extras if you'd like to purchase. So you just go downstairs for see the BWA for that. Thank you.